Okay, today we start with the definite integral. So previous time we did the indefinite integral. Now we will do the definite integral. And for definite integral, as we will see later, it's been used to find the area under the curve over an interval AB. So just imagine with me for now, we will go through this in more details. This is A, this is B, and this is a function y equal f of x. Now, the definite integral will tell you how much is this area. It's like when we have the formula for the area for the rectangle. Now we want a formula for the area under any function f of x. That's where we will use the definite integral. So the definite integral will be the area under the curve, and we just write it down the same way we did before, but we write those two numbers that's given to me as lower limit and upper limit of integration. So just extra, we write A and B. The question is how we are going to find this new object, which is the integral with two numbers, lower and upper. Well, the idea is very simple. All what you need to do, you need to find the indefinite integral with what we just did. So you just find the indefinite integral, and then you substitute the upper number instead of x, and then you substitute the lower number instead of x, and you subtract them. We'll see that the idea is simple. We did everything before. The final answer will be a number 5, 7, 20, 25, which represent the area. Remember, when we did indefinite integral without numbers, the answer still have an x with it. So that's the main difference, is in this part, what we will get is just a number, while previously what we just get is a function. So let's go ahead with the first question. So the first question is nice and direct. So you need to find the integral from -1 to 2 for the function x cubed minus 6x dx. Remember what I just said. You open one bracket and you write -1, 2. What you need to write here is the indefinite integral, which we already did before. You just need to repeat it up here. So you ask yourself, what is the integral of x power 3? Remember, x power 3, you will add 1 and you will divide by the number you get. What is the integral of x? It is x squared over 2, but then you have a 6. You cancel them, you get 6x. So here I will get 1 over 4x4 negative 3x squared. Of course, it's good always to check your answer is correct. How you would check your answer is correct? Take the derivative of this. Do we get this back? The answer is yes. If you take derivative, the 2 will go down, it will become 6. And if we subtract 1, it will be 1, so we get 6x. The 4 will go down, it will cancel with this 4, and then if we subtract 1, we get 3, so we get x power 3. That's the first step up here. Second step, you need to substitute with your calculator every x by 2 and write the number here. And then do the same thing. Every x you see here, put -1 instead of it, and you write the number here. So the final answer will be 2 numbers. If I substitute 2, I'll get 4 minus 12, it will be -8. If you substitute -1, it will be 1 over 4 minus 3, which is, it will be just -11 over 4. Please check those answers with the calculator. The final answer would be just 21 over 4, if I did everything correctly. And that's how we find the definite integral. So definite integral is similar to the indefinite integral. What we do, the first step, we just find the indefinite integral as before. Next step, you just need to plug in the number in the upper limit and you get one answer. Do the same. plug in the number in the lower limit, you will get another number, and then you put a subtract them in the middle. You subtract them in the middle. Let's go to this question. So here we have 1 to 9, 6 square root of x dx. Remember, first of all, I need to rewrite this function in order for me to find the integral. So it would be 6x power half dx. Now, what is the integral of this one? Is here. All what you need to do is you need to add 1. Now, if you add 1, you will get 3 over 2. So you just have to write x 3 over 2. That's the first step. We add 1. So we get x 3 over 2. And then you have to divide by 3 over 2, which is the number you have it here, you write it down here. But remember, we have 6 before, so just keep the 6. Now, of course, this can be simplified. If you have a calculator, just need to simplify this one here. You will get 12, get 4. And now what you need to do is take this 9, substitute it instead of x. After you finish, take this one, substitute it with x, and here you need to use your calculator. So you need to find 2 numbers, divide the calculator, and you put a minus between them. How do I find the first number? Which way I put it here? Substitute 9 here. And see how much you get. You get 108. If you substitute 1, you get 4. The final answer is 104. That's how we do this question. Remember, in this question, we need to rewrite the function first in order to find the integration. Once we find the indefinite integral, what we did, we substitute 9 by the calculator, and then we substitute 1 by the calculator, and then we put a minus between them. Let's go to part C. Okay, part C looks nice. Part C, we can do it in, let's see, 7 to 9 dx. Now, my question for you, what is that function that we don't see here? Well, if you guess it correctly, it is only the number 1. Now, how do we find the integral of only if we have numbers? All what we do, we just add x to that number. But that number is 1, so you will not see it. So the answer is just. Now, the final answer, as I just mentioned, take the upper limit, substitute it, take the lower limit and substitute it. So it will be 9, and then if I substitute the next one, so the final answer would be just 2. Let me repeat what I did. I don't have any function here, so I know that this function is only the number 1. The integral of any constant is just the same constant, which is 1, and we add x to it. But usually 1 times x, we just write it as x. Next, we need to substitute the number here. So we just, all what we need to do is we must substitute 9, that's 9. After we finish, we substitute 7, that's 7. And then we ask ourselves 9 minus 7 is just 2. Let's go to question part D, which again is something we have seen before. 1 over x minus 1. Now, one of the things that we have seen before was if we have denominator and the derivative is here. Remember, this is one of the questions when we have integral of u and the derivative of u. And the answer, we already said it before, it is just the len u. Now, what is u? This is u. What is the derivative of this u? It's just 1. So you have u prime. So the answer here is straightforward, just the len of u minus 1. Remember why I put a minus? Because I already told you before that we need to put the absolute value in order we don't get any problems or any other issues. Now, all what you need to do with your calculator, plug in e minus 1 here, okay? And just for sake of having an answer, which is getting better here, put e plus 1. If you do it in your calculator, you will get 1. Now, if you plug in 0, you will get len absolute value of -1, which is the same as len of 1, which len of 1 in your calculator is just 0. So this will be 0. So the final answer is just 1. And that's question part D. Let's continue to question part E. Again, we need to rewrite this function by expanding the square. So you have x plus 1 power 2 dx. Remember, in this one, you expand it by a plus b squared. It will be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We have seen this many times. Now we just have time to go ahead and apply it. So it will be -1 to 1. We take the first one square, the last one square, and we do 2x in the middle. Now we need to do this integration. So if we do the integration of x squared, we add 1, we divide by the new power. 2x, if we do the integration of x, it will be x squared over 2, but there is a 2, so it will be just x squared, and finally it will be just an x. And finally we substitute it from -1 to 1, and we just need to find the answers. One time I will plug in -1, and one time I will plug in 1. 1, it will be 2/3, so it will be 7/3. If you plug in -1, you just get -1/3. If you did all this in your calculator, it will be just 8/3. So what we did here, we expand the square, and then we do the integration for each part alone. Final step, plug in 1 with the calculator, you get this answer. Plug in -1 in the calculator, you get this answer, and then you subtract them. Now, of course, you don't need to do this here. You can even plug in everything in the calculator. Once you write 1, and then you write -1. Next question. For the next question, we will use the shortcut of the power rule. So just let me write it down for you here. Shortcut of the power rule. What is the shortcut for the power rule? If this is u, what you need to do, you just need to add 1, divide by the new number. Now, if this is u, u prime must be here. But what is u prime? U prime is 1. Because derivative of x is 1, it's already there. So I just can't directly use the power rule. So I'll just go ahead, I will use the power rule. Please review what we did in the power rule before, and that will be just x plus 3 power 6/6, and that's what we need to plug in with the calculator, all the numbers. So we get number minus a number, and then we will get the final answer. Now if we plug in a 3, it will be 6/5. I don't know 6/5 with the calculator, find it out. If you plug in 5, it will be 5/6/6, and then plug everything in the calculator. And that's part F up here. We continue with part G. And for part G, we need to split up the fraction. So just let me write it down here so you remember it when you review it at home. Split up the fraction. What do we mean by split up the fraction? It means first we need to rewrite the function, and each one in the numerator take its part from the denominator. So you take x power 4 divided by x5, and then up here. So this would be just like this. x4 would be repeated because I'm splitting up the fraction. Here you have x5, here you have 3x cubed. Now we just need to do this. So we get x plus 3 over x dx. Now this is an integration where we have seen how to do it. It's very simple, straightforward. The first integral will be x over 2. Second integral will be just the len. And the final answer will just be two numbers. Once I substitute 2, if you substitute 2, you will get 2 plus 3 lim 2. If you substitute 1, you get just half. And then you can just write the final answer as this one. And that's exactly what you should expect to get. So here is this one. Now, this question has a trick because remember, if we have len and inside the len, have e and inside the e is len, this is just equal to x. This is one of the formula. Just let me write it down here. That e inside len or len inside e, they cancel each other. So this integral will be 1 to 27 x over e len x dx, which will be the same 1 to 27 x over, as we just said, e and len cancel each other, we get just x. Now x over x is just 1 dx. What is the integral of 1, which is a constant? It's just x. And then once we substitute 27 and then we substitute minus 1, we get 26. That's part H. We can continue with the same principle up here in that question. But that question looks very suspicious and very hard to do. But here, as a hint for you, look at the limits of integration. Can you see what is going on with the limit of integration? They are the same. Now, what does that mean? That means, imagine I did the integration. Imagine I know what will be the antiderivative. I'll call it f capital of x. Something which I don't now know for sure, but imagine it is there. Imagine I find the integration of this and this and I find the answer. What I will do the next step, I will just need to write down two things. I just need to substitute the one in the top, okay, which is f of 2, whatever this number will be, and then I will repeat what I did again for the lower limit. And because they are the same, as you can already see here, they are the same, they will just cancel each other. So the final answer would be just 0. So if we do integration in general, let me just write it down. In general, any integration from a to a, the answer directly by the same reasoning will be 0. This will be one of the integration rules that we will see. It's good that we seen it early a bit so that we can just work with it as we go along. Next, again, a question about the substitution method. And that substitution method, we have a function and we have its derivative. So this is u, and this should be part of u prime. It is not exactly u prime, but here you can just tell me that u is negative x cubed. So what is u prime? U prime is negative 3x2, which I don't have it in the question, but I can fix it as we have seen before. So we have this one. Remember how we can fix it. How do we fix it? Remember, I need 3x squared e minus x cubed dx. So what I'll do, I need to divide by -3. If you do that, they are the same. You get back your original question. For now, you just keep this and this. So the -1 over -3 will remain, it will stay, it will wait, and then we do the integration. How we do the integration of u, and you have u prime, because it is the e, just eu. Now we substitute 1, we substitute 0, and we get the answer. If we substitute 1, we get -1. If we substitute 1, we get this one. We cannot simplify it anymore, so I suggest we keep it as is. Part F, which will be using the same principle here. Substitution method. And we will use the shortcut of the power rule. What is the shortcut of power rule? Something has to be u. What will be u? It will be the one inside the square root. Now what is u prime, which we need to fix? It is 2x. So I must see 2x here. So let me just do it step by step here. First of all, you have -5. Take it out. I don't want to see -5. Now, if you just take -5 out, you will end up with x here. But I don't want x. I want to see 2x. So, divide by 2. And that will solve it for you. So, if you want 2x here, just go ahead and divide by 2. Now, what you have is u and u prime, but not quite sure what it should be. So we will just need to raise it up a little bit. So it will be 5 divided -2, integral from 0 to 4, 2x power -12 dx, which is this one. Now we are in the situation where we have u and we have u prime. Of course, how we do it with the power rule, just we add 1 to this one and we divide by the new power. So here will be 5, -2. And then the rest of the question. So it will be x squared plus 9 to the power of half, and then you divide by half. And then you have to substitute 4, and then you have to substitute 0. So the final answer will be 5 divided -2. If we substitute 4, we'll get 2 square root of 13 minus, if we substitute 0, we'll get 6. Whatever this number is, we just need to keep it as is. And that's how we find indefinite integral. Thank you for watching.